All right, we're going to look right now at dimensioning the same object that we did in the last video. You'll recognize it there, but what I've done is I've replaced the front view with a front view full section. Okay, and this would be something that a designer or a drafter would choose to do to expose or to show some of the interior detail, but I'm also going to show you how this may make it so, or we could dimension in such a way that the top view is not necessary. Okay, so the idea is in this 3-view drawing, we could probably eliminate the top view, and what that will do and how we would necessarily adjust our dimensioning scheme to account for that. Okay, so if you remember in the previous video, this was the dimensioning scheme that we came up with. Okay, and you can see that we don't have a lot of dimensions in the top view. Okay, now I said that that's not a problem. I also said that it's not even necessary that we have any dimensions in the top view, because the top view is for shape description, not necessarily size description. But you might wonder, okay, do we really need this top view for shape description? So if we go back to our view over here, I've kept the same list of my primitive shapes in here because, of course, they're not changing regardless of how many views or which views that we choose to have in here. But we're going to go ahead and dimension this then and see if we can eliminate this top view. Okay, so so let's go ahead. The negative cylinder, that, and by the way, I've already set everything up. Oh, I should say, let's go to this view, and once we get rid of the top view, so I'm going to window this and hit delete, we can probably get a 2-to-1 scale in here, and I think we can. All right, I think what we might need to do is just move this over a little bit, and I'm doing this in floating model space, so that's how I'm getting away with it. You can do that too, right? Floating model space means we're, you know, the border, we're inside the border here. So I think 2-to-1 is a good shot. So I'm going to lock that in there. And I'm going to go back to model space here. And I'm going to, I still need to set this annotation scale to 2-to-1. Now you can't forget to do this. You have to match it. Okay. And so and I'm going to move this down just so I can continue to see it as I'm dimensioning here. All right. So negative cylinder, large, right? That's this one over here. So that's going to have a diameter, and we're going to pull that out here. Notice the dimensions are smaller. Why? Well, because what we're doing with our annotative dimensioning is making it so that when we print, our dimensions will be 3 millimeters high or tall. And that's what's going to happen. We make our drawing scale larger. Our dimensions don't change in size relative to the drawing scale. Okay. All right. So there we go. And we need a length for this. Okay. So we'll go like that. And that's the first one, negative cylinder. Now we do negative cylinder small. And this is going to be, you know, this is a lot. This is going to be basically a repeat from the last one, but with just maybe 1 or 2 changes here. And the depth of that, well, the depth is going to be that far, okay, that deep. I'm going to go ahead and kind of move this a little bit out there. I think that's good. Now, I'm a little bit curious. That's 37.85. Is that what it was in the other one? So let's go. No, it was 38. So, yeah, look at that. Whoops, I missed that point. Okay, so this is a good reminder here my object snap, I wasn't paying attention and I grabbed the wrong object snap in there. So you gotta watch that. Okay. So that's the small one. Now we have the negative prism, which is here. And we have the width across here. Right? And we have the length across here, or the height. Right? And then we have the length, and we'll dimension that here. Okay, so there's the full length of that. And then we have the positive prism base, right? Now here, we already have the length here. We already have the width here, so, or the thickness, whatever you want to say. So the height is really the only thing that we need to specify, and I'm going to do that here, right? Because that follows the contour rule. We don't want to do it over here. And then let's see what else. Positive prism top. And again, we have that in there already. We have the length here. So really, and I think we talked about this before, this can do with an overall height. So I'll pull that out like there. That's no good. Please adjust your dimensions so that they look nice. Maybe this would look better up here. Yeah. Okay. And then let's see what else. Now we have the negative wedge. Okay. So, and maybe this time I'm going to dimension it a little bit differently. So I'm going to I'm going to cut this part off. Okay. But then I'm also going to specify an angle. All right. So just to change things up a little bit. There we go. So we pull that angle right there, and maybe, can we get it in there? No, we can't really get, I really want the arrows to be on the inside, but you see AutoCAD is deciding that. Okay. So if I move it like that, yeah, that's going to be tight right there. Let's see if I can do that, right? And then I'll pull this a little bit further out and this a little bit further out. Yeah, it doesn't look quite as neat as I wanted it to look. I'll show you a little trick here, okay? So we can force it to be inside, okay? This is something that we talk about with the Intro to CAD class, but we'll talk about it here. So you notice when let me try again. Let me start again. So I click on this, okay, to highlight it, right, the whole dimension. And then as I move over the number, and I'm not clicking, I'm just hovering in that space, you see what it allows me to do. It allows me to move some things around. So I can, let's just play a little bit with this. If I move the dimension line, yeah, now what if I do this? Yeah, no, that's not going to let me do that. Move with leader, move above dimension line. Oh, there we go. So I could do that, right? So we can play around with that and maybe get that to look a little bit better. I think that that's definitely within the realm of goodness, right? That's acceptable. You have to use your common sense sometimes, you know. That certainly is fine. You know, we're using this edge right here, but that's really the best option in this case. I suppose I could change the 10 and put the 15 in here. And so I could do, I could do this and kind of switch some things around. And this might give me a little bit of a more room here. So if I do this, let's go to move with dimension line and here, let's do this. Let's go back to this. Move text only. So now I can move that in there. Okay, so that doesn't look bad, right? I think we can live with either of those, right? Either of those, but that's fine. So that's my negative wedge. And, that's it, really. That's how easy that is. Now I'm going to go ahead and, I'm going to stretch this down a little bit. But other than that, you can see how we can definitely describe the object without needing a third view. You just have to be a little bit more judicious in how you're applying your dimensions. Now, we're not done with this yet. We still have location dimensions, right? So we're going to play off the center here, so we don't need to locate the hole in this direction, but we certainly need to locate it in this direction. And there we go, right there. And I think, and we need to locate this hole in this direction here. And I'll move that right there. Maybe we'll move this a little bit higher. Sometimes, you just got to be, and look at that. I missed that again. See, you got to be careful there. I might have bad object snaps on. Let me check my object snaps. Yeah, I probably have too many on here. That's probably part of the problem. But that certainly is, everything else is done, right? So you can see that without too much work, we can adjust this so that we have the correct dimensioning scheme. Okay. So now, just to finish things up, I'm going to put my notes in here. So to add my notes, all right, I'm going to double click and close this border, right? And then I'm going to go on the text layer and I'm going to go to single line text and I'm going to click right about here and an angle is 0 and I'm going to say notes. Let's put these in all caps, notes. And we say 1, all dimensions in millimeters. 2, spell right, dimensions in accordance with Y 14.5-2009. There's no fillets and rounds on this. Let me zoom in a little bit. I think I spelled accordance wrong. Dance, yes. There are no fillets and rounds on this drawing. So that's really it, right? We don't need anything else. Enter, enter. There we go. All right. So there's my notes on that. Okay, so that drawing is done. All right. So I hope that helps. We've looked at 4 drawings now, I think, with dimensioning. I think we'll maybe look at 1 or 2 more, and then hopefully that will give you a good look at how you can dimension. All right, I'll see you in the next video.